Darrell Jazz Johnson, Seconds Out, here with the head of TGB Promotions, Mr. Tom Brown. Tom, how are you?
We're doing good, thanks. We're getting close to the show tomorrow. Just finished the weigh-in, so that's always a big plus for us, getting that out of the way.
Let's talk about the show. Let's get to the main event. What are your thoughts on the main event, Keith Thurman against Mario Barrios?
Well, I just think we got a tremendous fight. We know Barrios was busting out of the 140-pound division. He stayed in there one more fight, had a great fight with Tank Davis. He was ahead after 5 rounds. I think he got dropped twice in the 8th or 9th, and he came back and won the round after that. So it showed the kind of balls this kid has and the type of fighter he is and the heart he has. And it's just a natural for him to move up to 47. And the minute he got the phone call on the fight, he said yes. This was the fight he wanted. He wanted the biggest and toughest fight he could get in the division. And Keith's name was there, and he jumped at it. So you got to applaud him for that.
Absolutely. And Keith is obviously the favorite. But a lot of people think Barrio has a good chance of pulling off the upset. Why do you think that is?
Well, basically, I think this is one of those times where a kid really gained a lot of experience in a loss. He down at State Farm Arena, the crowd ended up turning towards him halfway through the fight. Just the experience he gained down there in Georgia. He's been in the big pay-per-view fights, been on the big stage. He's hit by a big puncher in Tank Davis, and even though he took the loss, it was one of those losses where sometimes it really doesn't hurt you, and you see it here. He's back headlining a main event pay-per-view show.
What do you think? You talked about the experience of being in a main event of a pay-per-view, suffering his first loss. What are some things that you believe he learned from that will make him victorious tomorrow?
Well, look, it was one of those things where he gave it everything he had, and he's able to go back after the fight and take a look and assess it and make adjustments off of that. So just the experience he gained that night will really motivate him and help him going into tomorrow night's fight. And Keith is in the same position. He's coming off his first loss. So no, he was more of a veteran, and he had been in the big league fights many times, and. The first PBC show we ever did, we had Keith on there, So he's been there. He's been in the big leagues, but he's in the same position. He's got that mind game going, also coming off his first loss, being knocked down in the first round with Manny Pacquiao. So it's a real interesting matchup.
What impact do you think Keith being out of the ring for over 2.5 years will have on the fight?
It's hard to tell. His last layoff, we saw he got a slow start out there with Josecito Lopez. Now he came back and won the fight, but it wasn't easy. So I think we'll know in the first 2, 3, 4 rounds if the Keith of 2017 is there, or if it's a lesser Keith, and that's a plus for Mario, obviously. But at the end of the day, it's a great fight on paper, and it's going to be a great fight tomorrow night.
Let's talk about your recent cards in the past couple of weeks, and also what you have coming in the next few weeks and months.
Well, we're just coming off the fight with Gary Russell Jr., and another example of a guy being off, losing to the underdog. And you saw the run that we had on 2021. I think we promoted 33, 34 fights, which in this pandemic is not easy to do. So. And then we're back here at the Cosmo in 2 weeks with Chris Colbert taking on Gutierrez in a WBA Super Featherweight Championship fight. And we'll be announcing a big schedule shortly on the next few months also.
Talk about, having an event like the one 13 days ago in Atlantic City where a big upset is pulled off when Mark does beat the favorite, the champion, in Gary Russell.
Well, you look at that's what they say. That's why they fight. We can all sit here and say this is going to happen or that's going to happen, but when 2 men go in the ring, in this profession, anything can happen. And Mixago proved that 2 weeks ago. And was it Gary's layoff, or was he the better man that night, or is he the better fighter? And that's what we're looking for tomorrow night with Mario Barrios and Keith Thurman. It's a lot of the same situations.
Final question: what can we look forward to in 2 weeks with Colbert?
Well, I think I think we're going to get a great fight, a tremendous fight, and I think we're going to be crowning a new world champion over at the Cosmopolitan just down the street in 2 weeks.
All right. Look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.